It's 11:47 p.m., and the third text has gone unanswered. You've watched the checkmark turn blue and stay there. Silence follows. In the dark, the muscles in your chest tighten like a fist. You promised yourself you wouldn't send another one, but your thumbs are already moving, typing something sharper this time, a message that sounds like anger but is really just fear wearing a costume. It is a strange paradox. Every frantic action you take to pull this person closer is precisely calibrated to drive them away. Your thumb freezes just above the screen. In this silence, you can feel the racing pulse in your wrist and the heat in your face, the physical evidence of a biological machinery that has taken over your hands. This isn't a character flaw or a dramatic personality. It is a deeply ingrained neurological alarm system, operating entirely below the level of conscious choice. This wiring begins with an old map. If a caregiver was warm on Tuesday and unreachable on Wednesday, your young brain learned to stay on guard. It learned that the only way to keep a connection alive was to watch for the first sign of it slipping and to grab on hard the second it did. In adulthood, this state is called hyperactivation. Your attachment system, the part of you built to keep you safe through connection, goes into overdrive at the slightest hint of distance. A flat okay or a slow reply is no longer a minor detail, it's a siren. This diagram shows the amygdala, the brain's threat detector, lighting up intensely. It fires before the rational mind can process social rejection. These cascading signals flood the body, creating an urge to make the feeling stop. It's a smoke detector misinterpreting a small moment for catastrophe. We call the resulting behaviors, the repeated calls, the yelling, or the cold shoulders, protest behaviors. They are the adult version of a toddler crying out when a parent leaves the room, a desperate signal meant to say, "Don't leave me here." These actions are a frantic, distorted expression of love. It is a healthy survival instinct, twisted by years of inconsistency into a delivery that wounds the very relationship it's trying to protect. The tragedy is that the partner on the receiving end rarely sees the frightened child underneath. They experience the protest as pressure, or anger, or chaos. Their natural response is to pull back, to find air. While they may look cold or indifferent on the outside, their internal metrics tell a different story. Research shows these withdrawers often experience pounding hearts and extreme physiological stress. They go quiet because they are too overwhelmed to speak. This diagram illustrates the relationship ending cycle. One partner pursues to bridge the gap, the other withdraws to survive the pressure. This withdrawal feels like abandonment, fueling harder protests. The loop accelerates, becoming jagged and chaotic, until the sheer pressure and silence shatter the system entirely. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy. The nervous system uses these strategies to prevent the loss of love, but the strategies themselves are often what finally drive love away. Returning to 11:47 p.m., with the thumb hovering over the send button, the cycle feels inevitable. But this is the exact moment where the sequence can be interrupted. Change begins by recognizing the sudden panic as a biological alarm rather than a truth about the relationship. You acknowledge that the wave of fear is real, but it is not proof that you are being abandoned. This awareness creates the space to breathe through the surge. By waiting for the biological wave to crest and fall, you become a steady caregiver for your own nervous system, refusing to outsource your entire sense of safety to a text message. With the alarm quieted, you can trade the armor of an angry text for a direct, vulnerable request. You delete the sharp words and say what is actually true. "I'm feeling a little anxious and lonely right now. Can we connect?" The psychologist Erich Fromm argued that the ability to be alone is the very condition for the ability to love. He meant that when you can survive your own silence and steady your own storm, you stop clutching at the people you care about. When you stop clutching, you give the other person the space to move toward you freely. A tight grip is something people instinctively try to wriggle out of. An open hand is something they choose to return to. Love creates the space for a partner to stay, while the pressure of fear often leaves them looking for the exit. By learning to hold your own fear, you finally keep your hands open enough to hold your love.